When taking care of your home, you regularly clean and organize everything neatly. From decorative items to essential utilities, everything contributes to creating a cozy and comfortable living space. Choose items that are both visually appealing and practical, carrying special meaning and contributing to a warm, peaceful atmosphere for your home. Be cautious with seemingly harmless items that you might unintentionally bring home. But in reality, it conceals a terrifying destructive power invisible to the naked eye. Did you know, these seemingly harmless objects can actually pave the way for darkness to creep in? Dark forces are always lurking, waiting for the chance to invade your life. We often fail to realize that these items can become dangerous tools exploited by Satan to pave the way for the horde of evil spirits to invade the homes of innocent, unsuspecting Christian believers. To better grasp this concept, we need to revisit the initial warnings that God gave humanity about Satan in the Bible. The Lord said, "Of all the creatures the Lord created, the serpent was the most cunning." Did God really say you must not eat any fruit from the trees in the garden? In Genesis chapter 3 verse 1 and 2 Corinthians chapter 2 verse 11, the Apostle Paul issued a warning. Let us not allow Satan to prevail, for we are fully aware of all his schemes. Today, these warnings are more urgent than ever. Even many people, including born-again believers, stubbornly disregard the schemes and dangers of Satan. Although the Bible clearly teaches in Romans chapter 10, verse 14 that, "How can we understand the things of the Spirit unless someone teaches us?" Consider this message as yet another lesson in the devil's cunning schemes. So he can't deceive you and pressure you into accepting things that seem normal. But in reality, it's extremely dangerous and can ruin your entire life. 8 items carrying bad energy that you should remove from your home immediately to avoid misfortune. Northern Dream Carousel. The Arctic Dream Ring is a handcrafted product deeply rooted in tradition. Originating from the culture of Native American indigenous peoples, particularly the Ojibwe, or Chippewa, tribe. This ring is typically made from a circular frame, primarily using willow branches, with a woven net at the center. Decorative items such as feathers or beads are often added to enhance the beauty. The main purpose of the ring is to preserve dreams, serving as a protective charm for oneself. It is said to have the ability to filter dreams, allowing only beautiful dreams to pass through its membrane and reach the sleeper. The dream catcher is usually hung above the bed or in the bedroom space. Sounds amazing, right? But the Bible warns that Satan often disguises himself as an angel of light to deceive people. Every form we mention only creates false hope and illusory aid. The image of the Arctic Circle in a dream can evoke a sense of peace, harmlessness, and serenity. Get rid of it immediately. Many people will criticize messages like these, claiming they lack cultural sophistication. Or it was an act that insulted the traditions of the native Indians. But it must be made clear that I deeply cherish cultural values. But this does not apply to behaviors that could become a gateway for evil. My highest priority is spreading the word of God, without being overly rigid about cultural customs, contrary to his teachings. First and foremost, it must be clearly understood that we are not speaking of sage leaves as a wise sage possesses profound knowledge in both academic and spiritual realms. That's not the kind of spice you use to season turkey on Thanksgiving. We are discussing the tradition of burning mugwort leaves in spiritual rituals. Some people believe that burning mugwort leaves has healing effects. For example, disinfecting and eliminating bacteria in the living environment. If you only use it for this purpose, then there's no problem. But the issue lies in the fact that it is often used in rituals and ceremonies called purification or spiritual cleansing. The opponent is extremely cunning. In the Bible, Satan first appears in the form of a serpent. It means he's always sneaky, cunning, and adept at lurking in the shadows. He will make you see unacceptable things as normal. You can use the excuse of burning sage for purification. But in reality, if you delve deeper into dark magic, you'll realize that sage leaves are an extremely common ingredient in summoning rituals. Create a suitable environment for witches and mystical rituals. For we do not wrestle against flesh and blood. That is the battle against the forces, powers, and rulers of darkness in the heavenly realms, as mentioned in Ephesians chapter 6, verse 12. This message is not intended to belittle or diminish the value of any culture or community, but to heed the warning in the Bible. If we are not wise, we will be captured by the spirits hidden within these objects. In the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7, verse 26, the Bible states, "Do not bring any detestable thing into your house, or you will be destroyed along with it. You must truly despise it, you must decisively eliminate it completely, for it is a cursed thing." Given the original text is very short and lacks specific content, here's a natural English translation while preserving the title format. The Bible repeatedly gives clear warnings against practices related to fortune-telling. The Tharoth ritual is often associated with this activity. Deuteronomy chapter 18 verses 10 to 12 teaches that, "Do not let any of you practice divination, sorcery, omens, or magic." Moreover, in the book of Leviticus, chapter 19, verse 26, the Bible emphasizes, "Do not eat blood, do not practice divination, nor consult fortune-tellers." The Tharoth game is not merely a harmless pastime. That could pave the way for dark forces to infiltrate your life. Users of Tharoth cards are often deceived by the belief that they provide guidance or light the way in difficult times. But in reality, they only drive you further away from God and place their trust in forces that the Bible deems detestable. The warning in the Bible could not have been clearer. Do not seek fortune-telling, nor pursue strange and mysterious things. According to the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 18, verses 10 to 12, we must place our complete trust in God's guidance and plan, instead of seeking knowledge from other sources. Relying on the Tharoth scripture for guidance is like placing faith in something other than God. And this is extremely dangerous. That door, once opened, will give Satan an opportunity to exploit, gradually weakening your faith. The Tharoth not only leads you astray from the path of salvation. Not only that, it can also negatively affect one's mental well-being. If you have these things in your house, throw them away immediately. And instead, seek guidance from God through prayer. Read the Bible and cultivate a deep personal relationship with God. If you're holding the Tharoth card, cancel it today. 4. Fail. Have you ever noticed that modern intelligence is often integrated into everyday familiar items? Like candles, tablecloths, and interior decorations, but always paired with fail? Meanwhile, the Bible or the cross rarely appear in these kinds of furniture stores. The reason fail is favored is due to its vibrant and eye-catching beauty. But you should also understand that even if God created precious stones and jewels, you must recognize the soul hidden behind these objects. Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 26 emphasizes that, "Never bring anything hateful into your home. You too shall perish like him. Regard him as something vile and abhorrent." Many types of fail are advertised as having healing properties, boosting energy, or providing spiritual protection. These advertisements are essentially just deceptive tricks, leading you to place your trust in the wrong place. If you own phalanges for spiritual or feng shui purposes, discard them immediately. Do not let those things become detestable in your own home, driving you away from God. Fail is not an issue when studied for scientific or geological purposes. However, many people still buy them because they believe in their spiritual benefits, such as healing properties, energy balancing, or the ability to ward off evil and bad luck. This is dangerous because it uses lifeless objects to replace the redemptive role of Jesus. The Bible teaches that by his wounds, we are healed. Wrong. It is not charms or magic, but the sacrifice of Jesus Christ that is the true source of healing. If you own fails for spiritual reasons, abandon them immediately. 5. Religious worship statues. This is a delicate issue, especially for our Catholic brothers and sisters and believers of other denominations. These religious statues are often used for worship or decoration. Religious statues are often carved to depict the images of Jesus, the Virgin Mary, or the saints. If you only see the statue as a way to remind you of faith, that may not be a concern. However, the Bible clearly warns, humans must not carve idols to worship, nor bow down before such images. The Egypt Treaty was signed in chapter 20, from Article 4 to Article 5. When you place too much trust in statues or regard them as sacred objects for worship, you are recklessly straining your personal relationship with God. Give reverence to Jesus, for he is the way, the truth, and the life. Here are the natural English translations based on context. The mind is the door that opens to the soul, and books are among the most powerful sources of nourishment for thought. If you read books with harmful content, fortune-telling books, or those promoting philosophies contrary to religious beliefs, you're bringing negative influences upon your own spiritual life. Philippians chapter 4 verse 8 teaches, "Think about whatever is true, noble, right, pure, and worthy of respect." The content you read can deeply influence your soul and spirit. If you come across books with content that goes against morality, contradicts Christian values, or promotes an immoral lifestyle, you may experience negative mental effects. Philippians chapter 4 verse 8 encourages us to think about whatever is true, noble, right, pure, lovely, and admirable. Books or audio content with elements of sexual fantasy or violence can become harmful tools, leading you into dangerous temptations. This is a question for self-assessment when choosing books. Who is this book about? 3. Does this content lead me away from God? If the answer leans heavily toward the negative, you should consider skipping this book. If you have books with unethical content in your home, think carefully and remove them immediately. 7. Cruel toys. The type of toys you choose for your child can influence their perception of right and wrong. Toys featuring demonic, eerie, or dark-themed imagery may contradict the spiritual values parents wish to instill in their children. For example, toys shaped like villains or witches may unintentionally convey the message that bad behavior is fun and acceptable. Violent or occult-themed games can plant toxic seeds in the hearts of young children. Train up a child in the way he should go. Even as it grew old, it never left that place. Proverbs chapter 22 verse 6. Choosing toys that help children grow with love, trust, and appropriate moral values is an important responsibility for every parent. Trang Suk Ta Ak. Certain pieces of jewelry, such as the evil eye or magic rings, are often passed down through generations, with the belief that they can aid and protect the wearer from misfortune. However, the truth is they attract evil spirits and can drag you into negative influences. The Bible warns in 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verses 20 to 21 that, "However, the sacrifices of pagans are offered to demons, not to God. Therefore, I do not want you to be partners with demons." It could be participating in or endorsing acts of idol worship. Do not turn these pieces of jewelry into idols, for they cannot protect you. Instead, they may lead you away from God. Items such as toys, books, jewelry, or objects tainted by evil spirits are not merely ordinary possessions. They also carry malevolent ideologies, capable of negatively influencing your mental and spiritual well-being. Clearing these items from the house is not merely a physical act, but also a way to purify the soul, helping us return to steadfast faith in Jesus Christ. Do not just chase the material value of these things. They can lead you into a false lifestyle and be deceived by evil spirits. Always turn to the Lord, for He is your sole refuge and guide on life's journey. Offer money and remove evil items from the house. Pray to the Lord to purify the soul, granting protection and guidance each day. Place your complete trust in God and do not seek refuge in the vain things of this world.